Apologies if the audio in this video sounds a bit off. I made a mistake in recording and basically I had to remove my voice from the video audio as there's a bit of leftover stuff, but hopefully it'll be fine. Welcome back to XCOM. Now I'm actually recording this in the same session as the last episode, but it'll be released a week later, so to me it's just been an instant, but to you it's been a week, for any of you returning viewers. Now let's continue the ramble about social simulation. No. Mutons. Ooh. South America. Annoying that they're searching for that base. Because I don't have any defences at that base, whereas like my North Africa and my Antarctic ones, it's completely fine if they go after them. Because they have plenty of units there, and any alien force will just get completely destroyed, but yes. This was a large UFO. They look to be over the grassland now. I hope they aren't in the jungle. Yeah, the bloody mutons in a jungle. The trees start speaking Vietnamese. Now, which of these has the worst soldiers? Looks like my North African one needs a bit more training. Maybe I'll give some guys some armour. Hold on, can I sort people by something? Yeah. Oh, I'm missing 2 crew. I should probably get them. Where's my other base? Yeah, I forgot that you had to put more crew on. Ooh, they're missing quite a few. That would have been problematic had I sent out a mission. Anyway, these guys. Oop. Soldiers sort by rank. These guys at the bottom, hold on there. Rune Tabjajan Dane. Let's check what the weight capacities are on them, because I know it's their overweight. They're fine. They're alright, so Harbujajan and Rune. I'll give armour to them. They can test out my cool new power armour. Against the mutons. No, if I remember, I was sorting people to only keep the ones over 80 psionic strength. Alright. excited to see how useful this new flying armour is. Look at them, that's cool. Although they don't seem to have any more weight capacity. I thought the armour was meant to help with that. The back. It's annoying. I'm sure they'd be the best to leave the UFO since they've got the most protection. Anyway, the reason I'm recording 2 of these in a session is that usually I want to record 2 of them, but like I just can't. But the reason now is that I'm forced to because I'm going to an event this weekend, which I plan to record a decent amount of footage of it, and if it should be good, I'll put that into a video. Although then again, I have other footage that I have been planning to put into a video for at least 3 months now, which has miraculously not become a video. But still, this should be a lot easier to put together, and I feel it may be interesting to people. The kind of people I expect to watch this content, I expect will like the video that I expect will like what I will record. So yeah, that would be good. But yeah, I say there's the video that miraculously hasn't been made. That's my PC building video. I don't remember if I've mentioned that, but yeah, they've got like jetpack. I thought it was meant to just work like anti-gravity stuff because the Illyrian. Anyway, yeah, this PC building video I plan to make it into... It's like recording over quite a while. I think it's maybe a few weeks between the first and last recording, but the majority of what I did was in 2 days. That was when I built my PC, but I unboxed components as they arrived. But yeah, I plan to put that into a video. So I think it'll be interesting. So I can show up the beast of a PC I have to play XCOM from like 1990 something. I'm sure it can run Crisis, at the very least. I get a couple hundred FPS in TF2, which is good. A couple hundred FPS rendering on my 1080p 60 FPS monitor from like 2010. At least I think it's better than the people who get like a 4K 240 FPS monitor and then put like a GTX 780 or something on it. Like, it's better to have the worst monitor than the worst computer. Because the worst computer, I tell you what, this has absolutely stunning performance when compressing files. Because I have given it a CPU which is stupidly in excess of what I normally need. But yeah. Ooh, fancy. Like floaters. Anyway, fancy. No. Yeah, it's very fast at compressing files. Like, previously the CPU used to be the bottleneck, but now whenever I'm compressing files on like my USB hard drives that I use to archive stuff, the hard drive at like 50 megabytes, sometimes up to 100 megabytes a second, is bottlenecking the CPU at 7-zip's maximum compression settings, pretty much. Which, yeah, the Intel, the 12900, is very impressive. And some of you may be thinking, oh, did they make this PC like 2 years ago? No, I didn't. This was a new PC, made 4-ish months ago. But I got the 12900 because I wanted to avoid the issues with the newer CPUs, but I'll go more into depth in that in the video, if I make it. Should be out within the next like half year, because the main problem is that I have a lot of footage to go through. Actually, I've got relatively little footage because, you know, my phone, which is my camera, very little storage space for the video, the data rate it produces, and also it overheats if I'm recording for too long, and then it refuses to continue recording. So the video I've got little of. The main problem is linking up my audio with the videos, because I have pretty much 2 full days of audio, or like 1 full day, so around 24 hours of audio to go through to link up with maybe 20 minutes of video. So that would be even more of a joy than the minor amount of audio editing that I have to do for these. That already takes me like half an hour. Imagine how long that will take. No, I think it'll be alright. But also I want to make some stuff that isn't recorded, like I want to explain the design behind my PC. Stuff like why I picked the 12900. And I'll be doing that with like pretty much a PowerPoint presentation, but I can commentary over it. And that will probably take that will take some extra time to make, because I want to do it well. Not well, decently. Because the problem is, I have, again, Linux. I have switched over to LibreOffice Impress, and I do not like it. I think it is pretty damn shit. But it's free, so you can complain little, but I am complaining. Mostly because there's other free software that's a lot better. Stuff like VLC, 7-zip, Audacity, OBS, that stuff's all perfect. So, it's beyond me how they managed to screw up LibreOffice so royally, but at least a LibreOffice writer is functional. I won't say good. But I use it for technical documentation for programs I'm writing. It's quite good. Perhaps I shouldn't say technical documentation. I use it for standards creation, because the way that I design my programs, mostly as a requirement from them being multi-platform, like my... right, mutons. Yeah, mostly as a requirement because they're multi-platform. They just tanked that hit. I am required to... I make standards that define in, you know, loose, generic terms what they do on each platform. So I would say, you know, the library can open a window. This consists, or a window consists of, a title bar that displays some text, a close button. You know, it defines all of this stuff. Move. On a tree. I don't think I'll get them out. Drop them down a level. This guy's stuck up there. Anyway, yeah, it says, this is a window. These are the features that a window has. And that way I can, that standard is something you can turn into a unit test. Like, the wording of it is pretty much exactly what the unit test tests for. It tests that the window must match that standard, whether it's a automatic unit test, which I try to make things as automatic as possible, but because it's kind of a kernel abstraction thing, it's interacting with the operating system, and you can't really test things once they've been submitted to the operating system. Like, if I've called the functions on the operating system to create a window and stuff, it should have created a window, but it might not have, so there's a lot of manual tests, but they're still designed as unit tests, like they're definite conditions, and they verify that these functions are working perfectly if they are given correct data. But yeah, standards. They're written in LibreOffice. Technical documentation, which says in detail on each platform, there's separate technical documentation for each platform. Or rather, it's the same technical documentation, it states a lot of different things. Like, it says what the function does, what arguments it takes. On this platform, the function does XYZ. On this other platform, it does ABC. It's just like that. Technical documentation, that's written in Markdown. Because, that's basically text stuff. And that's good because it means you can read it on whatever platform you're using. So say, my library, it supports the Amiga, for example. Old computer from the 80s. You can read the technical documentation on the Amiga if you are developing on there, because it's pretty much just text. That's what Markdown is. Whereas the LibreOffice, the standards, you couldn't read them. But the standards aren't important, because you basically don't have to look at the standards if you're a user of the library. The standards are for guiding the developers, which currently is just myself, on what to make a function do, and it's also an outline of what the unit test must test for. But yeah, LibreOffice is fine for technical documentation. They've all been missing this guy. Oop. Yeah, that was close. I would be very mad if that guy died. Are they invincible or something? Well, it bloody well seems like it. Well, I hope too many of these guys don't die. But probably at least one of them will. And hopefully... Oh, they've got full-time units. Maybe one of them can go up. Come on, come on. Shit. That ended well. Let's not. I'll set up 3 people here for action fire in case someone comes out the door, but mostly in case that guy moves forward to try and get a better shot, and they'll go pew 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 and they'll die. That is the plan. And one person can look in there. Looks safe. A guy watching over near that corridor. Let's just say another watching this way. Not expecting that they'd run back. Was that a one-hit kill on a muton? Seems like that guy tanked 2 or 3 shots and they lived. How can this be? I say, being able to go 1 floor up is very convenient. Can see why I'm only getting floaters sent against me. Because they do their job. So for them to save stuff for aim shot. That's dumb. At least that hedge will make it easier to attack. There's one back. No, they couldn't get quite far enough. This mission's going pretty well, I think. And yeah, these flying suits are... Yeah, I cannot overstate. I am very much liking them. They are very useful. And I will be most delighted once they're produced for all the rest of my squad. Problem is the North Africa squad is the one that goes to Sidonia, because it will be stupid expensive to make flying armour for 2 squads. So yeah, I'll get the North Africa one, I'll put priority on their training. I think I may have forgot to move some of these guys last turn, but meh. Stuff's going well anyway. Now, I have an interesting idea for a strategy. Where's my other flying suit guy? Oh right, yeah, there are 2 floors up. Let's see if this works. It does not. I was hoping that could go through the roof, but it seems it can't. So I know the plasma can go through the walls. Yeah, I was thinking, now let's try it. No. I think maybe it's only the external walls. Oh, no. The internal walls that it can go through. I thought they were the same material, but perhaps not. They should be ready to breach. Yeah, muton. I fancy seeing you here. It certainly seems like it can pierce the outside. Maybe the walls are just they have a different strength on the inside and outside. I don't know. Or maybe I got incredibly unlucky. Either is plausible. I could have sworn they broke that wall there. That the wall. They might get a shot. They did not. It rhymes, so it's true. The invincible muton is dead. Someone should get a motion scanner. These guys used up their time units. It's 3 behind me. 5 and 6, they might be an alien. Who behind's that guy? Someone around there. Maybe in the engine room. Clear. Alright. Send one of these guys over, they can check with the motion scanner. Side. Okay, so 2 forward left and 4 forward, 2 left. So one there, one there. I think I'll just try and go around this way. These guys can be out here for reaction fire. And these guys will just be around the corner. So I don't believe the mutons have motion scanners. So unless their AI has intelligence beyond what I'm aware of, then yeah, I should be safe. Alright. Seems it went to plan. That's 1 left. And that 3 left. And there. And there. This guy goes through. Yep. My intel is correct. I won't aim fire because I want this guy to be able to run. Yep. It's for best. I'll try a snapshot. Did not pay off. This guy can go. I want to throw out smoke, but they won't have time for it. get this guy. He should be able to reaction fire. I don't think there's anyone more inside, but there might be an engineer in there, not moving. It's clear. Let's just hope they don't come around this way, but this guy will be for reaction fire if they do. What do you know? Go there. It went very well. I think in large part those flying suits were quite useful, especially being able to go right in the right spot to do a motion scan. Yes, I will look forward until they're done. 15 more hours of the motion scans and then we can move back to the flying suits. You know, they are surprisingly cheap. Like, really? Hold on. Where are they? I think maybe it's because I'm already building. Hold on. Yeah, and only 16 Illyrium is a decent cost for like one soldier. That's a decent amount. But yeah, still they're pretty cheap. What does a clip of ammo cost? So one flying suit is equivalent to 5 clips of ammo, which, yeah, I would say it honestly has a similar value to that. Yeah. More of retaliation. At least it seems, well, now that means the floaters and the, what's that there? The sectoids know where I am. Actually, I don't know how the AI works. Maybe they forget where I am after their invasion fails. But still, I think the sectoids know where I am. The floaters are searching for me. At least I haven't got another attack from the sectoids. So I would not like that. It's very inconvenient. Let's see if they go over the mountains. Yeah, they're not. How's Antarctica going? They're good. Now, what was them? Snake men. And they're floaters. So actually, no, I will send the power armor guys against the snake men. I think they're the bigger threat, even if it's just a medium scout. That's also annoying. Probably can't intercept the supply ship, but I'm expecting maybe they'll go a bit slower than normal. Right. So that's a large scout. And actually caught up to the supply ship. this guy can disengage. This guy I'll leave trailing. Send out more. Good. Lots of interceptions. Now I like the intercept stuff. Damn it. I'm annoyed that they took it away from the... Oh, good. I'm annoyed that they took all the fun of the interception away from, like, enemy unknown. It gets dumbed down compared to this version. Yeah, I like having to have lots of interceptors stationed around the place, and yeah, it's fun. That's the floaters. I'll get them to wait till daytime, actually. Now, I realise, going through the footage... Ah, good, I can get back to flagship suits. Here, I'll make 2 more for spares. Oof, costs a lot. I think I'll have to sell some stuff, probably. I'll start to keep UFO components around because I'm going to be building Avengers soon, I believe. Now maybe... I think I'll just sell plasma pistols because I went to all the effort making them, but I really just don't think they're that useful. Because I'm not using like rocket launchers, and if I give someone a blaster launcher, they're gonna be using the blaster launcher. Like, I'm going to have them shooting every turn, without a doubt. So yeah, these pistols are pretty much useless to me now. I don't need the laser rifles, I have enough heavy plasma to arm everyone. Don't need that many UFO navigation. That should be good. It's not enough to cover the next month, I think. I may go into bankruptcy, but hold on, has my North Africa returned? Yeah, they have. Yeah, if I do get a bit under, well, A, I want to get more gear, or I want to sell more stuff, and I'll get more stuff to sell in the next missions, but even if I don't, I'll be able to make ends meet in the next month. Which of these was the difficult one? Where's the supply ship? It's that one. There were lots of dead people in the last mission. These guys are also They'll have pretty bad weight capacity. Ah, ain't that convenient. Got the ambush advantage on them. So I can pretty much get everyone to do an aimed shot. If only they could aim. Oh, what sweet bliss that would be. I can only see that one. They can aim. Down. And I can't shoot over them. I'll just drop some smoke. Who's got good weight capacity? They? Yep, they do. Just drop some smoke so that if they turn around, I've suddenly become invisible. And let's hope they don't throw a grenade. I'd better not jinx it. Although sadly I think I may have already done that. Yes. Both shots. In the early game it seems that auto shot really is the meta, but now it seems the aim shot is just a lot better. Rhymes, so it's true. I'm a bit hungry, I've just noticed. I don't know, I've lost my point. Oh, yes. The plasma weapons, you know, they do have ammo, which means you want to conserve it, but like, I can remember reloading maybe once or twice in the entire game. There was one time when I had to reload a bullet weapon because they had been running around shooting so many people. That was very good, although mainly I was shooting Reapers. Because, you know, they can just tank damage. Plasma weapons, it's not really a problem, because 34 shots. Most of my units are lucky if they get off 9 in a mission, before they die or before it's done. But the main thing is just that, you know, these weapons for pretty much anything except mutons and like Reapers and Cyberdiscs, but even the Reapers, they get one shot pretty often. Most enemies are one shot by the plasma weapons. Seemingly they don't have armour or something. Well, the mutons do. But that means the aim shot is just fine, because, you know, you're more likely to hit them with a one-hit shot. At anything but close range, that aim shot is more likely to hit than the auto shot. And you don't need the potentially extra damage provided by the auto shot, so the aim shot is just better. unless you're like in a UFO already. If you're outside, the aim shot's better. So I think with the bullet weapons, the auto shot's better because they can't kill anything. Most of the aliens, seemingly the armour they do have is quite effective against projectile weapons. Like the auto shot or the auto cannon or anything like that. Not auto shot, the rifle. The regular rifle. You need to auto shot because they have defense against it. Now I was talking about how it would take sending this camera out here. It'll probably take a while to edit together my PC building video. Another video I want to do that'll take a while. Apologies if you can hear that. Try to have wind. Oh yes. I want to make a video for this XCOM series of like each soldier, like, you know, what they did, the highlights, and who's the MVP. I plan to do that with the aid of the, well, you know, I can't just look through all of the footage, but that's a bit very time consuming, you know. By the end of this I'll maybe have 40-50 hours of finished footage. I don't want to spend... think how long that would take to watch. Like, that's over 2 full days. If I was spreading that out normally, that would be maybe, for my average time, maybe a month to just watch all of that. Then think that I'll have to go over and watch it multiple times, because I'm getting clips and stuff from it. That will be so much fun. That's sarcastic because I'll obviously. But I plan to use the memorial in this game and the diary, which, you know, I discovered by accident. I think they'll be incredibly helpful in making that video. Because, I think the memorial, it says when each soldier died, and I want to include that in the video. So that would be helpful, and I think the diary also says what missions they partook in. And that will make it easier to find clips of them. So yeah. That way I won't have to watch through all of the footage. Especially because I won't be including anything like this, just people walking. That's boring. I'll be including parts where they're actually doing something, like killing 5 aliens, or walking out of the Sky Engine getting shot instantly. You know, all the fun stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking that video will be maybe an hour, 2 hours long. I may split it up into multiple parts, like maybe one part for troops who are... Maybe I'll split it up for troops who are recruited in various months, so like maybe the first 3 months will be... Maybe I'll do it in increments of 3 months. That might make sense. Because I think so far maybe half a year's passed in-game. For one thing, it's very impressive how fast the technology develops, but yeah. If I were to do every 3 months, then that would probably be splitting it into thirds, which I think will be good. Now I've realised this is very vulnerable if an alien should throw a grenade, but I see no aliens. And I will be incredibly annoyed if someone comes out the UFO with a blaster launcher, but so far I think I've only seen them on base missions, so I'm counting on that not being the case. Instead, just having a block of people so they can evaporate anything that appears through reaction fire. I'll make 3 openings because, like, it'll just be a pain to pass everyone through one gap. There we go. I think I'll spread them out in more of a line. That should lead to better reaction fire and... well, actually, a grenade or a blaster launcher will still kill all of them, but yeah. Spread the lines out a bit as well. That way, if they shoot at someone in the first row and it passes, hopefully it won't hit the second row, but probably still will. Doing like Napoleonic line battles with plasma weapons and power armour. This is Super World War I. My outdated tactics. The reaction fire worked. Ain't I glad for it? Just keep the line moving forward for this turn. I think the next turn I will send half of them that way and half of them that way. This would be a lot more convenient if they all had flying armour, because then they could go over the UFO, but it is kind of a bother to send them around. Well, it scares me. I've been talking for pretty much an hour. Probably while my voice is starting to hurt a bit. Yeah. I was talking the last video, which for me was, the same discussion. For you it's last week. Talking last video about a society simulator. I want to elaborate on that a bit. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but if any of you have watched gameplay of or played the game Eco, I'm thinking the society simulator will have similar interactions to the legal system in that. Like, that's how the kind of modules will interact with that degree of control. The legal system in that, which I think the new legal system that I've played around with, they've only introduced that decently recently. It rhymes, so it's true. I'll leave that for that turn. But yeah, they have pretty damn complex government systems, but yeah, it's stuff like they got a constitution. I'll describe, paraphrase what I remember. There's a constitution, which lays out how the government works, like elections, who's allowed to pass laws, who's allowed to access government accounts, any of that kind of stuff. You have a court, or you can have multiple courts, I think, that allow you to put laws into action. And the laws, the way they're structured as just a when this happens, then do this, is how the laws are structured. Quite simple. It's just trigger an action. But the way it works is quite smart. For instance, if you have an environmental protection law to protect, I think, old redwood trees, which they're a special thing because they don't grow back, I think, on most servers, so people tend to protect them even though they're not really... They don't have any special effects, it's just because they don't grow back and they look cool. People protect them. You can have a law that basically... It triggers when someone chops a tree, and then within your... I think within the if thing or within the then, however you implement it, you can test, you're given some information from them about what tree they chopped down. Like, I think you can access the position of the tree, what type of tree it is, who chopped it down. You can do all kinds of complicated stuff. For instance, you can, if it's a redwood tree, you can just block them outright. But you can have roles that you give to people. There's another building that lets you do that. And you could say if they have a certain role, then they're allowed to chop down the tree. And it's got a pretty complex simulation of a legal system. But also just the simulation of the environment and society is pretty complex. Like, they've got a good... I think it simulates economies fairly well. The thing is, the way a lot of people play the game, frankly, I think they play it wrong. But they make it so that it's more just kind of cooperative, like pretty much just a command and control, command economy structure. Like, you know, people just say, do this. But yeah, if your server's set up like it, you can have a pretty complex economic simulation. Which, I think that's partly the inspiration for what I want to do. I want to pretty much make the same kind of stuff that you can do in Eco, but have it as an actual research targeted simulation, like a simulation where, you know, you can accelerate time, all the people are controlled programmatically, so they behave in, you know, predictable ways, they're not players. Yeah, you can, and, you know, it won't be 3D graphics or stuff. You could attach a rendering engine to it, like you could make a module that can produce rendered outputs of what's happening, but by default, there won't be. By default, you probably just interact with it through the command line. Like, that's how you tell it to use certain modules, that's how you tell it to perhaps accept data, but you could make modules that allow you to get a rendered output of people doing things, for instance. You could make modules that allow you to manually create companies, you know, anything. Basically, similar to Eco, but not as a game, as a research tool. I'm going to stop talking for a while now, because my voice is really starting to hurt. Oh no, not really starting to hurt. I can feel that it's going to start to hurt if I overuse it. Still no aliens. I think I'll just send these guys over this way. So it seems safe, so I'm not gonna get to conserve time units. Alright. Let's get a motion scanner out. That's 6 right. Oh, hold on. Yeah, 6 right, 7 up. Let's test that theory. What do you know? Oh, I thought this was Snake Man. Oh wait, no, that's the one in North America. This is the one in Europe. So that's 6 out, 3, 4. Be there. Oh, they'll be in there. Right. Seems safe. Some real nice reaction from it. There we go. That was entirely their fault. It was not my command failure. 50 Illyrium, that's pretty good from a scout UFO, I think. Oh no, I lost a rookie. Oh, how terrible. I think that'll probably be enough for this episode, so I'll see you next time.